Well, someone had to kill her. Vereda didn't just up and die at the tender age of 28.
Stop squawking, you fat netch! You're just as likely the one that killed her.
I did this then? When you're the one greedier than a starving hawker?
This is going nowhere. We'll never find the treasure if we keep killing each other.
You walk in here on three skeevers arguing over a dead body and decide you want to chat with one of them? You either got some kind of guts or you're some kind of stupid. Either way, maybe you can help. A family squabble of sorts. You see, one of these ghosties went and killed Vereda. Problem is, none of us are about to go treasure hunting. There's a murderer at our back. Then killing for gold. You don't stop at one. Or so I hear. Ancestor of ours, Gjadil the Keel-Hauler, cached her loot around here. If you grab the chest for us, there's no chance for a sneak attack. The map over there will lead you right to it. And obviously, I'll pay you for the trouble. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Look at these squabbling fools. Why don't I just take the treasure myself? Tough like that. The only thing that will crack the chest open is the blood of Gjadil's descendant. Thus, you'll need one of us. I'm known as Igeki Ratbite. It would serve you well to not forget that name, given that I'll one day have a legacy as epic as Gjadil herself. You saw my face, right? I got bit by a rat. It was a big rat. Don't worry, it's dead now. She was an explorer, sailed from Atmora all the way to Yakuda, despite half her crew falling mad along the way. She discovered new lands, new cultures. Shame so few hear of her. Her greatest adventure was raiding the palace of King Ognum himself. Right you are. Fled Piandonea after, quick as a flash. Pa said the whole Miramore fleet came after her. Eventually, they chased her right to this cove. She fled to the shore, clutching a single chest of treasure. Buried it before making her way back home. The blood of my blood willingly given. That's how the enchantment goes. You see, Gjadil wanted to settle down, have a few brats of her own. So, the story was passed along, waiting for a descendant adventurous enough to set sail. I'm known as Igeki Ratbite. It would serve you well to not forget that name, given...
So, you've decided to join our little escapade. Well, I'd watch my back if I were you. Never know when a dagger will end up in it. But have no fear. I'm certain I'll crack this little mystery wide open. I am called Drokagir, after my father. He was a man of girth, you see. Mother required some way to separate us, and so the epithet lesser was given to me. Of course, you'll find most to be a lesser man than Drokagir the Lesser, especially when it comes to acting. Yes, most ardently so. I've graced many of Skyrim's stages. Once I've obtained my wealth, I'll visit the House of Reveries. I suspect they'll demand I join them once they've caught wind of my talent. Oh, poor Vereda. I hardly knew thee, cousin, and now I never shall. One of these rapscallions killed her as she slumbered, oblivious to such a betrayal, strangled her most likely, the brutes, all to get a greater share of the treasure. All of us have grown up on tales of Gjadil the Keel-Hauler and her Summerset treasure. The way Auntie Brinkella tells it, whoever opens the chest will have enough wealth to last them a lifetime. Of course, I was happy with a quarter share. It has to be one of them, doesn't it? As soon as you bring us the treasure, we'll be on our separate ways. Until then, I'll make sure no one moves from this spot. Wouldn't want another tragedy to occur. I am called Drokagir.
Seems Igeki roped you in on this little adventure too. Just great. You know, I always wanted siblings growing up. But if this is what my cousins turned out to be like, glad I was spared the experience. They call me Soberstone. And yes, I realize that is an odd name for a Nord. Make no mistake, I still enjoy a strong brew. There was another stone in my village. Stone drunk at all hours of the day. He once fell in a mead tank and had to drink his way out. Practically a village hero after that. I was just sober in comparison. Distant cousins. I didn't even realize I was related to these skeevers before Igeki found us. She had the family records, you see. It was her that brought us all together. Ratface needed all of us, though, if she wanted Gjadil's treasure. Drock had a boat, Vereda had the funds, and I inherited Gjadil's map. So we all worked together, as long as was convenient. Of course, the only one I trust not to betray me at this point is Vereda. And that's only because she's dead. I don't mean to find out. The quicker you find that treasure, the quicker I can make my way back home. Hopefully without a knife ending up between my ribs. They call me Sober Store.
Yeah. Yeah. Please, be careful where you step. The plants I've cordoned off here are both rare and fragile. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, were you able to find Gjadil's treasure? Huh. I always imagined it a tad bigger. Well, if it's stuffed with diamonds, I guess it doesn't much matter what size the box is. Thanks for grabbing it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to crack this beauty open. Now, let's see what we're working with here.
Can't you bleed any faster, Igeki?
Indeed, my being roils with anticipation.
What the? There's just a scroll in here! I sailed across many seas and raided many ships, but the most precious treasure is family. May you see the wisdom in these words.
What? I came all this way for nothing? I can't believe I poisoned Vereda for a stupid scroll!
Hold a moment. You killed Vereda? But I was the one who strangled her right after she fell asleep.
Neither of you are making any sense! I stabbed her! Right after we doused the fire!
Wait, did we all kill Vereda to get a bigger share of the treasure?
Ha! I suppose betrayal runs in the family. To think that Gjadil planned for this outcome from the very start! Who knew the old girl had such a flair for the dramatic? I wonder if she ever thought of joining the theater.
I can't believe I ever looked up to this loony crone. To think she would trick us all just for some stupid moral lesson. I just hope such lunacy doesn't run in the family. An explorer? No. I wanted to be a filthy rich pirate captain. I was going to use the treasure to put together a ship and crew. But thanks to Gjadil and her bleeding heart, I suppose that's not going to happen. A life of scrubbing decks and taking orders, no thanks. You know, killing Vereda was pretty easy. Maybe I'll join the Dark Brotherhood. I just have to catch their attention, right? Yeah, I think I could do that.
I suppose that's why Gjadil gave up a life of piracy. She decided a loving family was more important than riches or treasure. What an idiot. I doubt it. Gjadil probably did this to bring her descendants closer. Companionship through the hardship of exploration or some such nonsense. To think I went and killed Vereda, all for nothing. I regret going through the trouble. It's easy to feel sympathy for a corpse, but trust me, if you had known Vereda, you would understand. It's no coincidence that all three of us decided to go after her, and only her.